Okay. Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we are going to be going over the final episode of Dragon Ball Daima. And there's a lot to say about this episode. There are highs, there are lows, there are things I want to dig into, there are things I want to praise. But I think before we get into that, I do have to just let everybody know that I'm still very, very grateful for what we got, regardless of anything I'm about to say in this video, because Toriyama has made a legacy. We're getting close to the anniversary of his passing, and he has made a legacy that allows us to even have videos like this. I can't be upset when it comes to anything that really happens. Like, I can be disappointed, I can be super hype, I can have my criticisms, I can have my praises, but at the end of the day, Toriyama creating this body of work allows me to pursue my dreams of yapping about Dragon Ball all day, about playing Dragon Ball card games in order to, you know, just have fun, meet new friends, travel the world. It's just, no matter how I cut it, without Toriyama, I would not be living my dreams out like I'm trying to do. So, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you, Toriyama Sensei. You have given so much to everybody. And this work, even with its faults, even with its highs, you've given us something that we can look back on. You've given us content for games, you've given us things to talk about, and it has felt really good to be able just to dream and theorize about Dragon Ball again. So yeah, that was my thank you, and with that out of the way, we're going to get into the video. If you like this sort of content, make sure you like the video. If you love this sort of content, make sure you join the Unix fam today and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and this is your spoiler warning. So let's get into the episode. So the episode starts off with Goku squaring up with Goma. Yeah, we have just picked up from where we were with the power-up, the immaculate power-up in the Super Saiyan 4, and Goku looks majestic. The way his stature is, he's a lot more top-heavy, bulky, much like a gorilla, much like an ape, so they really try to get that in. At first, I kind of thought he was short again because of how stocky and thick his upper body is, but it's pretty cool, and you can tell that the animation just went like movie budget for this episode, and that's what we really need for a finale in terms of action. And I will say, in terms of action choreography, the shots, this first half of the episode was so unbelievably well done. So hats off to Toei and every artist involved. I know they brought some big names back for this one. It was just great. But you have Goku fighting against Goma. Goma's actually putting up some hands, but you can clearly see that Goku is rocking his soul, like fist all up in his cheek, and you know, his him being bodied into the floor. We get views of Goku POV, your Goma getting his body destroyed, and Goku's just going in. You have Goma taking dirt naps, but the Oculus keeps flashing and he keeps getting up, and he's relying on this power, you know what I mean? You have this aura that goes around Goku that kind of reminds you of Ultra Instinct, Sign, but obviously it's just for special effects. It was there when he first transformed into Super Saiyan 4, and you just have so much going on here, and this part is kind of hard for me to explain because the animation is just the animation. You just need to be able to watch the episode to know how peak this was for Dragon Ball animation. If this is going to be how Dragon Ball fights are, big Dragon Ball fights are, when we get back to Dragon Ball as an anime, then this is a good direction. Now plot, we'll see, but I do have faith. If they let Toyotaro cook, I have faith, because he is not just a dude who can draw, he is a Dragon Ball Super nerd, and we've seen in his works with his rewrites of Dragon Ball Super sagas with stuff, he loves to shove in lore and callbacks, and not just this is a Easter egg. No, he likes doing the deep cuts, and I'll talk about that in a future video. But you have all these cool shots. You have Goma making ki blasts or magic blasts, shooting them out. He at one point summons his staff and starts going absolutely crazy with the orbs coming out on Goku. It's pretty cool, But at one point, and this is probably the crowning jewel of this episode, because you can just tell, they knew they wanted to do this. Goku steps on a rock, he hunkers down, and he puts up his hand. And lightning strikes, you just knew something was happening. You can feel it in your bones. This is potentially the hair-raising moment of the episode. And after the lightning strikes, he starts powering up, And at first you're like, is he gonna do something else? Is he gonna add another form on top of that? But no, he starts charging Kamehameha. And this Kamehameha starts off normal, but oh my gosh, it is not. He launches this thing, and you can just see in the picture that's on screen, his entire body is getting rocked by this. Like, he's leaning back. It's like a mix between SS4's GT, like a huge Kamehameha, and kind of the Kaioken versus Vegeta kind of deal. Goma is in the process of shooting an energy blast of his own because he doesn't want to like get hit by that, obviously. And Goku rocks this thing. You have the Goku, yeah, shooting this Kamehameha. It shows like some good like little like views of him, and then you have this face. It like zooms in and they like color wash it, and it very much so reminds me of when Goku launched the Kamehameha wave with Kaioken times with the Kaioken against Vegeta. Like, he had no pupils, he was like fully in his bag, and he fired it off. It was pretty awesome. And then they did something really cool. On screen you can see the frame here, right, where they catch him in the middle of the Kamehameha and he's popping off. Now, for a lot of you guys with sharp eyes, you guys know where this frame is from, and I'm switching it over to here. This is a pure peak Dragon Ball frame, OG classic. In fact, something that's funny, I don't have the binder in here with me right now, but the card game I play, Dragon Ball Super Fusion World, we just had our anniversary event, and the winner's card is this art, and I have one of those. Trying to get another one tomorrow, but yeah. So it was just really cool callback on that one. Goma gets blasted, and the craziest part about this is that Goma gets blasted. You see the Kamehameha going up through, and it's like encompassing him. But the craziest part is we see a hole get put in Goma, and everybody is like, hey, yo, because they just weren't expecting Goku to go that hard. And they did this crazily. The Kamehameha goes through Goma. It hits the boundary of Demon Realm 1, breaks a hole in it, goes through Demon Realm 2, punches a hole in that, and then shoots through Demon Realm 3. Goku just opened up an entirely new entryway between the Demon Realm worlds with his Kamehameha wave. And that is just like, wow, like the power on that. People just need to stop downplaying Goku. I get it, Goku can't beat every MC, but this bro just literally broke open. Like, he's clearly planetary at minimum. At minimum, he didn't break a sweat using this Kamehameha. He just put some back into it, and he went through multiple layers of this demon realm to then just punch. Yeah, just stop downplaying him. But you get this really cool moment where you see like the damage. He parted the clouds of Demon Realm 1 to break through the upper shell of it into Demon Realm 2. You see Goku, and he's like putting down his hand after the Kamehameha, and it just looks amazing. That's on screen right now. It looks crazy. And then you see Goma, and Goma has the hole in him, and Goma doesn't even know what to do. He's probably never been punctured like this before. He's not a real Dragon Baller, but this causes Piccolo to believe that this is his chance. And oh man, Piccolo is truly useless in Daima. I don't even know why they brought him on this episode, brother. I don't even know why they brought him in this season. Like, Piccolo literally comes out, gets one hit, two hits, and before he can get to that third hit to the center of the Tootsie Pop, Goma just backhands him out of the way, and it's unfortunate. So, yeah, like, this one hurt. In my previous video, I was hoping that maybe Piccolo would use the multi-form so we can get 3 successive hits on. Instead of just punching, winding up, going for another attack, he could have just used his multi-form technique and then just been like, pop, pop, pop. And that's it. But instead, you know, Piccolo literally didn't do anything and was utterly wasted in Daima. And he got smacked away. The gang is shocked, and I don't know why, because like after 19 episodes of literally doing nothing, I guess they thought that he had to have some clutch saved in the tank, and maybe that's why they're shocked. And if that's the case, then yeah, it makes sense why they're shocked. They thought that Piccolo was going to come through. Wrong. So yeah, and then Goma ends up using the Oculus to like power up again. He's healing his wounds. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, no. And then you have, out of nowhere, Majin Ku. Now, don't get me wrong, Majin Ku is one of my favorite characters in the entire show. I've loved him since the beginning. I was dreading him potentially being eaten by his brother to make Majin Dooku. I was just saying a bunch of things. I really, really, really love Ku. And I like that Arinsu is finally like, yeah, I accept you, because he has been her ride or die. You know, that has just been what's happening. So this has just kind of been a deal. And you now have Majin Ku picking up the book. And he beats Goma in the back of the head with it 3 times, because it works when he does it. It doesn't work when Piccolo does it, because they just really want Piccolo to suck. And they wanted to push an agenda, which I'm okay with, but it still kind of feels weird. And Goku has a shocked face. He's the audience insert. We just saw Piccolo get absolutely shafted, and then out of nowhere, Majin Ku comes over and hits Goma in the back of the head 3 times. The Tertian Oculus falls out of Goma's head. And then you get the best MVP screen that'll probably be on Dragon Ball Multi. Dragon Ball Multi. You'll probably have that, because this is literally his MVP screen. Just look at it. Just look at it. I like just put the MVP on the screen and it's right there. But you move over and you have everybody praising Majin Ku. They're like, yo, this is legit. I can't believe you done this. Like, yeah, buddy. And it's all happy-go-lucky. And then you have another scene where it shows Goma binded, and Marba and Arinsu come in, and they have this like perfume bottle, and they kind of use this like Mafuba to trap Goma, and Dagesu's already in there too. So you essentially have Dagesu and Goma serving out a sentence inside of Marba's perfume bottle. That's cool. And then you get this scene of everybody chilling, and you know, Vegeta up here aura farming as usual, him and Piccolo quite at it again. And now you have this kind of weird point where they're like, well, since Goma's gone, who's Supreme Demon King now? And Shin actually goes over to Arinsu and he's like, yo, I misjudged you. You're not bad. You have your ambitions, but you've got a heart in there. Maybe you should be the Supreme Demon King. And Arinsu uses her Giga IQ to be like, bro, if I took the mantle without gaining any magical power or power in general, somebody's just going to take it from me. So, no, that's not happening. And then they all like kind of stop and kind of like review the laws. Thou who does not die by the blade of Ra's al Ghul shall become Ra's al Ghul type ish. Like, no, really, they were like, he who is slain Goma shall become Goma. Like, but really, they literally were like, since you knocked out his Tertian Oculus and like he like became bitch made once more, you literally get to become the Supreme Demon King. And then they give him the Mark of Drip, aka the Supreme Demon King cloak. And to be real, that's kind of funny, because we saw Abura has the cloak, Dabura has the cloak, Goma had a cape, and now we have Supreme Demon King Ku with the cape. He looks swagged out, and the first thing he does, like a proud son, is he appoints his mother as his right-hand man. And then he also makes Do, his brother, his right-hand man. Like many dignitaries do, they get into high seats of power and then start filling out their cabinet with their homies and their cronies. But Majin Ku actually starts going ham, and he really wants to unite the demon realm. He makes Neva a minister, he makes King Caden a minister, he makes Glorio a minister. He's trying to make sure that the upper echelon of Demon World has as much representation as possible. And I think that that's cool. You have and everybody loves this kind of moment where everybody puts up their hand. They're like, yeah, Ku is good. And yeah, that's cool, because like Ku is good. He is a peak character in this series. So then you get to arguably one of the most annoying parts in the episode. Vegeta is mad that Goku kept Super Saiyan 4 from him. Once again, Life 3. And Goku's like, oh, you mean Super Saiyan 4? Naming it Super Saiyan 4 by just, you know, it is now, that is the canon of that form. It is Super Saiyan 4. And he said, yeah, Boo was really strong, so I started training after, and I didn't think I could pull this off, but I did. And it was so stupid, because the words imply that Goku knew he could use Super Saiyan 4 and tapped into it. But we clearly saw that, but like just hear me out. Goku was standing up in Super Saiyan 3, about to get erased by Goma's magic. If he could tap into Super Saiyan 4, why did he not do it? The show clearly shows us that Neva used his Neva buff magic it literally unlocked Goku's genealogy, and then Goku grew back a tail magically and then went to Super Saiyan 4. And the fact of the matter is, no matter what people want to say about this, Goku was literally looking at his hands in shock because he did not know what that form was. So I don't know what kind of dialogue this was, but everything that the show showed us contradicted what we were able to see here. So Vegeta's kind of mad, and you know, they shove off, they get on the ship. You know, Pansy gives Bulma some Magilite, like a whole truckload of Magilite to use and experiment with. And you know, they just have the whole crew waving goodbye. You have the Demon Realm denizens waving goodbye, and then the after credit scene, after showing a reel of everybody coming back into their adult forms, Goku goes back to the store because he wants to go back and maybe get some heal bugs because they're running low on sensu beans. And Bulma is like, oh, this is beautiful, and then realizes it's a bug, doesn't want any of it, and so she wants to throw it away. And then you have her hearing about the butte bugs and that eating one can regress you 10 years, and she's like, yes, which is kind of weird because how many is she bought a whole box, so I don't understand why she's doing this when we know in Super she uses the Dragon Balls to wish herself younger. So but you know, we go over and Pansy finds a jar and she blows off the jar, and it is 2 more eyes. And the shopkeeper explains that there was a set of 3 that she sold one a long time ago, but they're so powerful and pricey that they're hard to move. And so there are 3 tertiary oculuses, which is funny because tertian, that's 3. That prefix, well, the root of that word is 3. It means 3. So the fact they said like tertian oculus, we thought that just the 3rd eye, but no, it actually meant that there were 3 of them, and that is absolutely wild. So there could be potentially a demon in the past that had all 3 of them. Those were their eyes, and maybe that's something to talk about later. Maybe that's another theory video later, but we have that. The whole gang is shocked and the series ends. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of this. Things I liked about this episode. I thought that the initial fight and the animation were amazing. If you are a Meathead Dragon Ball fan, which to be honest, all Dragon Ball fans have a percentage of Meathead in them, this was great. This was honestly very, very, very good. The animation was amazing. The choreography was amazing. The Kamehameha was really something to be seen. And this fight will go down as one of the best fight scenes in Dragon Ball franchise for quite some time, yes. However, you know, we're not even at the however yet. The second thing I liked most about this episode is Majin Buu becoming the king of the Demon Realm. I thought that was actually really, really, really funny. I thought that was really cool, and I kind of like it. I like it a lot. Actually, I don't kind of like it. I love it. I think Majin Buu becoming the king of the Demon Realm was good because he is the smartest. And granted, he's not even a pushover yet. What we discussed, what we saw, was that essentially a Tamagami is stronger than Super Saiyan, but not as strong as Super Saiyan 2 until it goes into that heat mode that Tamagami 3 and 1 had, and then it's stronger than Super Saiyan. At that point, it's like still being outstripped by Super Saiyan 2, right? Now, if Neva buffs the Tamagami, it goes to a form that's higher than Super Saiyan 2, but not higher than Super Saiyan 3, as we saw with Tamagami 2. So with Buu being able to fight Tamagami 1, but not beat him, we can sort of power scale Tamagami, or Majin Buu to be above Super Saiyan, but not above Super Saiyan 2. Like, above Super Saiyan, but probably getting absolutely floored. Actually is getting absolutely floored by Super Saiyan 2. So he's not necessarily weak. In terms of the Demon Realm standards, he's actually probably still top 5 in the realm. Like, if you look at it, if you really want to look at it in terms of combatants, you probably do have Tamagami 1, well, so you probably have Majin Buu, Tamagami 1, 2, and 3, and then you probably have Majin Buu. Like, he's probably in top 5 of the Demon Realm just off of those feats alone. But he is definitely on a different league of intelligence than most of the realm. Like, you probably have in the top 5 Neva, Buu, Marba, and Arinsu. And I'm not saying that's necessary in Pansy. And I'm saying that's like in any particular order. Like, I think that we don't know the depths of Marva's intellect or Neva's full intellect, but Arinsu was caught off guard multiple times by how smart Buu is. So I'm happy that Buu is effectively he's a part of that hierarchy, and he made a cabinet of balance. You know, he's got Arensu, he's got Marba, he's got Neva, he's got Kaden, he's got Glorio, he's got Dew. Even though Dew is just, yeah, I don't know what Dew's doing on there, to be honest. But he declined Hibis. He declined Hibis, but he kept Dew on there. Alright, anywho, bias is real. Point being, I think that he's going to be a good leader for Daima. Now we got to go over to the negative. I understand that this way was the way to let Ku become the Supreme Demon King, but I think it came at the sacrifice of Piccolo doing literally anything in this entire 20 episodes, and that's just a little rough for me. I'm not even like the hugest Piccolo fan, but this was a massive blow to all Piccolo fans. He came here, he had the opportunity to do so much with Neva, he had the opportunity to learn so much about his race, he had the opportunity to be so integral to the demon realm, being an actual demon. He had the ability to potentially get the game-winning play on Goma, and instead all he did was sit there, farm aura, sit there some more, stand there some more, sometimes hover some more, and then be unsuccessful at getting the third eye out of Goma. And that is just a lot for a Piccolo fan to handle. That's the normal Vegeta treatment, except Vegeta actually gets fights. So I guess it's actually even worse. It's the actual Piccolo treatment. That was pretty bad. Another thing that was pretty awful is that we had a lot of payoffs to get up to, and none of them were touched. None of them were touched. Join bugs, not touched. Majin Buu and Majin Ku with the Han Solo Glorio and the Princess Leia Pansy being there. And then what do we have? Literally, what do we have for Dooku? Nothing. And granted, maybe that was just a high expectation, but it looked like all the framework was there for it not to happen. And you know what? It is what it is. It's cool. That's cool. The join bugs was weird though, because yes, it was a lot to expect a fusion this episode. Even a gag fusion. However, when it comes to the join bugs, they brought them in there for a reason. They talked about them for a reason. He dropped the pouch and it literally zoomed in on the pouch just to show it falling for a reason, and then there was no reason. So it seemed like they just spent so much time hinting that something would happen with the join bugs for nothing to happen with the join bugs, and that's really, really rough. So you got everybody excited, and then that, like, there are certain things where I think that people were thinking too much, like showing Goku go Super Saiyan 4 and showing that Neva did it. If it was something that Goku was like, I've been training for a long time, like if we never had Neva jump in and Goku just went Super Saiyan 4 saying that he trained for it, that would be one thing. But showing that Super Saiyan 4 was the product of an external force buffing you, gave the way for Vegeta to get it as well, and we just didn't have him get it. Like, there was actively, as far as we know, nothing that stops Neva from going over and just doing the same thing from Vegeta. Nothing. But we just didn't see that either. And I think that, yes, obviously, it's not GT, but it's still Goku time. And that's the main reason why Goku only got this form. But we're looking at a lot of weird things here. And then you have the weird explanation of Super Saiyan 4, which directly contradicts what we saw. Everything that we saw showed that it was an external magic force that allowed Goku to hit that form. But then Goku's talking about like how he could have done it at any time but just didn't want to. That was just very, very, very strange, and I don't understand it. And then my final gripe is that the wrap up was so quick as we expected it to be, but then they used like time doing stuff that we didn't even care about. Showing us their 2 Tertian Oculuses, 2 more, is actually pretty wild, but at the same time as being pretty wild, unless that leads into a movie or like a follow-up series or like an OVA, I don't really see the use of showing us that when we could have seen more about how the demon realm was working out, when we could have had more time in the initial conflict to make a more satisfying ending, when we could have had, I don't know, them showing Gohan literally once. Like, where was he? Bro did not get a single animation. The only time they showed Gohan was in the recap where we saw what he looked like in Daima towards the end of the Buu Saga. Like, as a Gohan fan, I'm mad as hell. But at the same time, I think that this series, for what it's worth, was good, maybe even great. but they really fumbled on the second half of this episode, in my opinion, because what we need as Dragon Ball fans is for things to make sense. We need more lore building, which this series did an exemplary job of in the beginning, in the first half, even some episodes towards the later half. They built upon the world of Dragon Ball and made us very happy to be fans. And in this episode, all they had to do was tie certain things together, and it's not like they'd even they had bad explanations. They did not try. They did not even try to show us where this links into the grand scheme of things and give us like any hint of the future, hope for the future. And so that's kind of rough. Now granted, they could literally fix everything that we don't like about this ending by announcing next week that there will be a movie that involves the Demon Realm coming out. That would literally be as much as they would have to do, and I think that's going to be a good video idea. I think that I am going to pitch a movie idea for Daima, and I think you guys would like that, so stay tuned. But yeah, honestly, that is kind of where I'm at for it. This was like probably the longest post episode analysis slash, you know, talking points that I've done before, because I really do think that there's a lot to dive into when it comes to this episode. But let me know how you guys felt. Try to keep it cool in the comments. Like, you can give your criticisms without like disrespecting a man that has passed away, or the team that has worked on this. I do think there was a lot of things that were fumbled in the very end, but I do think that we can, like I said, keep it respectful. So let me know how you guys feel. Like I said, if you like this sort of content, like the video, and if you love this sort of content, maybe even subscribe. We will be back with more Dragon Ball content as well in the future, the upcoming weeks, and we are currently streaming Digimon Cyber Sleuth in an attempt to get through Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, and hopefully have a release date for Time Stranger by that time. So catch me outside on that one. And then of course we're getting another Dokkan Fest, I think, next week, and I will be summoning on that. So yeah, you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Later.